Hi, again, this is John Williams with Fit Lakes Render House, aka the BIM guy. And to wrap up this series of uh, episodes on how architecture designers can increase their wages, I'm just going to end with um, let other architecture designers know that we can increase our wages, we can increase awareness of the importance of our work, and we need to really take action. We need to formulate maybe an association or something that's separate from the AIA and other, blood-related organizations that they got out there that architects belong to. If form something almost like a union base that's separate, so that we can we can have some type of agreement and rehatch the way that traditional contracts work in terms of pay, in terms of aspirations to be an architect, and in terms of our self worth, our value that we offer, and our contribution to architecture and monuments that's been in construction over the last 21st, late 20th and 21st century. And until we decide to stand up and let people be aware of our role in architecture, then we will forever be bonded in some sort of chains of slavery in regards to where we where we're placed in the practice of architecture. Because at the end of the day, um, I'm fed up with industry elitists and other organizations in architecture saying what architecture designers can and cannot do, when the reality of the matter is that we actually do more work than architects that's out there today. It doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to find out that architects that proclaim to be the next latest and greatest thing have had a significant amount of assistance, if not influence, by architecture designers like you and architecture designers like me. And so we need to break those bonds that hold us forever back, and uh, allow us to be set free and to set salary structures and pay ranges for ourselves, so that we can start getting the required standard of living, like engineers that uh, get paid for doing a significant amount of work that's a lot less creative and less um, time consuming than architecture designers. You know, it takes a great kind of person to sit there hours in and learn that software, find out how to work with parametric geometry, and really uh, expand. With my software, I push my software to the limit, and it really takes time and patience to find out what can and what cannot work. And to be honest with you, a lot of the stuff that I've seen our other architecture designers create, it blows architecture work that's performed by architects out of the water. Now, if we just had the permission to talk with a contractor and have the contractor look at our body of work for a project, and let the contractor, and what I mean by contractor, let me just get a little more in depth with that. Similar to how architects lean on the experience and knowledge of structural engineers, mechanical engineers, your HVAC guys, electricians or whatnot, they basically shield themselves from liability by making sure that those people are licensed, and trust in those people as being skilled and experienced to perform the job. That's not to say that architects not liable, but uh, similar to the way that the architect go about getting the job developed, getting the job created, architecture designers can do that. You can take your design, take it to a general contractor. The general contractor but tell you which modifications needs to be made and where. You go back, you modify it, give it to the general contractor, have it constructed. Similar to like in Michigan, like our architecture designers are allowed to do residential housing projects under a certain amount of square footage. Well, we could do the commercial projects as well, as architecture designer, not by law, but by skill set, by what we learn, and by the way that architecture is practiced. We're just as qualified to do commercial work as well. And I think that the lawmakers and people that are part of these association organizations needs to accept that and realize that, because just like me and other people that I know, we get fed up of being discriminated against and being kept in bondage and not being able to advance and having to stick with a certain salary, and then be sold on a false promise that we will excel up the corporate ladder. And a lot of architecture designers, if you're really about using this architecture firm to gain some type of experience, maybe it's a certain style you're after, maybe it's a certain architect you like working with, or maybe it's an internship and you need the hours, then I'm not really talking to you. You have to do what you have to do in order to take it to the next stage. But I'm more importantly talking to the people that are architecture designers who you get it, you understand where the industry is going, you understand that even if you got your license, you're the greatest architect in the whole wide world, that being the greatest architect in the whole wide world is not about being the smartest, it's not about being the most talented, it's not about being educated with the software. Being the greatest architect in the world is about politics, and it's about money. You have to have money. It's just like running for a presidential office. You ever notice how presidents have to have a certain amount of money to run a campaign? It's ridiculous. You raise a $500 million to for an office that only pay you $400,000. Where's the rest of that money going? It's just unfathomable. Well, it's the same with architecture. Architecture, it's a rally, it's a ploy, it's politics, it's who you know. It's like the people that become the greatest architects are the ones that we've all known who known somebody else. Okay, that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Also, that people don't necessarily discuss is that it takes a long time to become a great architect, 20, 30 years, and you have to know the right people. You piss one person off, and there's your shot. You blew it. So really, you're just sitting there waiting in line. I know a lot of architects who've been working for the same firm for 20 years, 30 years, and they still doing desk jobs. I mean, that's not where I want to be in life. If you just want to make your 80 grand, put in your 8 hours and go home, I'm not even talking to you. I understand. I get that. I'm talking about people who really want to be known for or appreciated for the amount of work and dedication that they put into the craft, because our stage, our spot, our segment is the nuts and bolts of architecture. Okay? The person that's behind that computer, behind, whether it's Revit, whether it's AutoCAD or Inventor, or whether it's 3D Studio Max, Rhino, SketchUp, you name it. That person who has that ability to take a concept, and most of the time the architect leave you with some vaguely concept. He don't know what he wants until you develop it, and then upon that he asks for manipulations here and there. But it takes the person in that seat, the actual artist, the sculptor of that concept, really, to get the project out there, explain for the masses, or really to be received. And so again, unless you win some kind of competition or something like that, and even they got little fees and little processes that you have to make, or you have to go through, you have to jump through some kind of hoops in order to even compete in a lot of these competitions, and I've seen competitions submitted by architects, and I've seen competitions submitted by architecture designers. I've seen competitions submitted by students, and I've seen student work blow architects who've been in practice way out of the water. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we really need to take a fine-tooth comb and go through and redline all the stuff that work and all the stuff that don't work. We need to get rid of it, and we need to recreate our industry and get this traditional dinosaur practice way out. Because, I mean, I'm sure all the people with the big money and all the firms that's been around for 20, 30 years, they want to keep things the way they are. You know, they don't want us breaking any new ground. But the fact of the matter is that in order for architectural designers to increase their wages, people need to take heed to the things that I'm saying, and you need to be some type of catalyst out there where you at, and you need to start your reaction to tradition. This is a reaction to traditionalism right here. This is the rebirth of the industry. So I'm here to tell you, and this date is January the 17th, and we're going to rebirth this industry one person at a time. Start with me. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about me, you can go to www